Meredith Miller, and you're at my home tonight so that I can show you how to make a rice and almond pilaf. And tonight we're going to be using a few of the Bob's Red Mill ingredients. We're going to start with some slivered almonds and some white basmati rice. And going into the pilaf, we're also going to be using some mushrooms, about a cup of chopped mushrooms. We're going to be using some scallions to garnish the pilaf at the very end. We're also going to be using about a half cup of chopped, finely sliced carrots actually. Then going into the rice while it cooks, we're going to be using about a cup of water and about 14 ounces of vegetable or chicken broth, whatever you choose to use. We use mostly vegetarian ingredients in this house, so that's why I chose to go with vegetable broth. We'll be using about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and also about 2 tablespoons of butter to saute the almonds in the very beginning for the garnish at the end, and then also to brown the rice before we actually begin cooking it. So one thing I want to mention here with all these different ingredients is that even though I gave you specifics, amounts of the different ingredients, one thing that you can do with this recipe is if you are a huge mushroom lover, use as many mushrooms as you choose, or you can even use less. I know a lot of people don't like mushrooms, so you can use as few as you want to. Same goes with carrot. If you are a carrot lover, feel free to use as much carrot as you want, or as little. With the liquids, those are going to be important for cooking the rice, so you're going to want to stay with the cup of water and about 14 ounces of the vegetable or chicken broth. And the soy sauce, again, you can kind of temper that however you want, a little more, a little less, depending on how much flavor you want in there. Again, with the butter, if you want to use a tablespoon to saute the almonds in the beginning, that's fine. A lot of times I just dry roast the different nuts that I use on the stovetop, so that's up to you whether or not you want to use the butter and to saute the almonds for the garnish at the end. So, those are all the ingredients. I've already prepared everything over here, got it all chopped up, ready to go, so that, that's kind of the boring part. But I will start with using about a tablespoon of really soft butter. We're going to melt down the butter a little bit so that we can throw the almonds in there, saute those up, then we're going to set those aside and then put those on the pilaf at the very end. Go ahead and throw the almonds in there, so it's just a 1/4 cup of slivered almonds. So while the almonds saute, what I was going to say about the rice pilaf is that for athletes it's a great meal because it provides a lot of different carbohydrates to get you going for your race or your training the next day if this is something you're going to plan on eating for dinner. Also with the nuts you're going to get some of the good fats that you need, and with the veggies, the carrots, okay, there's not a lot of nutrition in mushrooms, but for those of you who like them, they still taste good. So it's a good meal to have the night before, or if you're a person who likes leftovers, even the morning of a race. It's easy to pack up and take in a Tupperware container to you with the race if you need to have a little bit of nutrition before you start, a little bit of a lunch before you get going. So it's really nutritious in that way for training and getting out there and racing and stuff, and giving you the energy that you need. So those are all sauteed and looking nice and brown. So what we're going to do next is go ahead and saute or brown the basmati rice a little bit. So I'm going to put the last teaspoon of butter into the pot there. Melt that down a little bit. Go back to my 1 cup of rice here. Dump that in. Give it a little stir. Of course, browning the rice isn't a necessity, but it is something that will give it a little bit of a nuttier flavor in the end. So we'll let that sit for a minute or two, let it brown up nice. And then the next thing that we're going to do is just throw the mushrooms and the carrots and the different liquids into the pilaf. We're going to let it come to a boil. We're going to throw the lid on and let it simmer for about 20-25 minutes. So as you can see, it's not a very difficult recipe. It's very simple. It just takes a little bit of time as the rice is cooking. So we'll go ahead and throw approximately 1 cup of sliced mushrooms in. Again, I'm not the one who wants to be perfect with everything when it doesn't have to be, so I've got approximately half a cup of carrot. I'd say that's a little bit more than half a cup. Give that a little stir. Mix it all together. And then, last things to do, add 14 ounces of either your vegetable broth or your chicken broth. Get a nice little sizzle going there. We've got 1 cup of water. And then approximately 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Give all that a little bit of a stir, mix it up nicely. And turn up the heat a little bit here, let it come to a boil. Okay, the water started boiling, so I turned down the heat, threw the lid on. I'm going to set the timer for 25 minutes. I know that living here in Colorado at 5,000 feet, things are going to take a little bit longer to cook, so I know that 25 minutes is about right for this pilaf. While that is cooking, I will show you the finished product that I made a little bit earlier today. So if you come over here, here's a bowl of the pilaf. I've already added some of the sauteed almonds and some of the scallions. Again, with the scallions or the green onions, I like a little less. If you like a little more, again, feel free to add as much or as little as you want to garnish the top of the pilaf. And that is about it. So you are able to find this recipe on the bobsredmill.com website under recipes, and it's just the almond and rice pilaf. And again, we use Bob's Red Mill slivered almonds and Bob's Red Mill white basmati rice. And another great option for this pilaf would also be the brown rice. So have fun, enjoy, and bon appetit.